Good evening all, and welcome to the online lecture on GCMS and LCMS organized by Department of Chemistry, Sri Narayana College for Women, Kollam. This lecture will cover principle, instrumentation and applications of two important chromatographic techniques, GCMS and LCMS. It will be useful for both PG and UG students in chemistry. Today, we are privileged to have Dr. Suresh Babu as our resource person. Dr. Suresh Babu is the Senior Scientific Officer at Biomedical Technology Wing, Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute for Medical Sciences and Technology, Thiruvananthapuram. I welcome Suresh sir to deliver the lecture. Sir.
Thank you.
Slide show will idavu sir.
Okay. Slide കാണാമല്ലോ.
Slide കാണാം sir. Slide show will ഇട്ടാൽ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ.
ഇപ്പോൾ കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഇപ്പൊ കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ?
കാണുന്നുണ്ട് സർ.
തുടങ്ങട്ടോ എങ്കില്. Good evening everybody. Welcome to my presentation. So today I am discussing two important analytic techniques. One is gas chromatography mass spectrometry, that is GCMS, and second one is liquid chromatography mass spectrometry, LCMS. This is the picture of the equipment, LCMS. So firstly I am presenting LCMS. Both these techniques are very widely used for analysis. Most versatile technique you are. Actually, these techniques are hyphenated techniques. LCMS is hyphenated with the LC with MS. Actually, so hyphenate means actually here the advantages LC and MS are coupled. You know, LC is used for separation and MS is used for identification. So LCMS has both the qualities. So it is a hyphenated technique, combine physical separation capabilities of LC and mass analysis capabilities of MS. Actually, the function of LC is to separate the components of a complex mixture. You know, LC is the most capable technique for separating closely attached components, and MS identifies the components. Actually, this LCMS is a chromatography technique. It is very highly sensitive compared to other chromatography technique, and it can be used for identification of the molecules. Actually, this identification is very unique. In normal LC, we use retention time for identification. Here, no need of using this retention time. It is actually fingerprinting. The compound is identified based on the mass spectrum of the compounds, and it is also very suitable for simultaneous multi-component analysis. This is the schematic representation of LCMS. First part is LC.
Sir, slide മാറുന്നില്ല sir. Change ആവുന്നില്ല. Enable editing കൊടുത്തിട്ട് പിന്നെ ആ slide share ഇടണമായിരിക്കും.
Okay.
ഇപ്പൊ slide പോയി sir.
Okay.
ഇപ്പൊ സ്ലൈഡ് കാണുന്നില്ല. വോയിസ് കുറവാന്ന് സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് പറയുന്നു.
ഇപ്പൊ കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ?
ഇപ്പൊ കാണുന്നുണ്ട് സർ. സ്ലൈഡ് ഒന്ന് മാറ്റി നോക്കാവോ?
ഇപ്പോഴും മാറിയോ?
മാറുന്നില്ല. സർ ഞാൻ ഇവിടുന്ന് പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യട്ടെ. സാറ് ഞാൻ സ്ലൈഡ് മാറ്റിക്കോളാം, സാർ പറഞ്ഞാ മതി. ഇപ്പൊ ശരിയാ. ഇപ്പൊ മാറുന്നുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ ആയി സർ.
This is the schematic representation of LC-MS. So here LC is coupled with MS. You know, LC is used for the separation and MS is for identification of the compounds. So the LC, all the part is described here, then solvent, reservoir, then pump, sample injection ports, then column, then interface. This is simple schematic representation. So this LC unit separate the components and introduce the interface as a solution. So this LC column separate the components of the mixture and introduce the solution in the interface, and this is ionization source. It ionizes the components into ions. Then mass analyzer analyze the ions, that is separates and analyze the ions, and detector detect the ions. Then output is a graph of then MS values against intensity. Then there is actually in LC-MS we have to couple LC and MS, but there are some critical problems. The output of LC is solution. Actually, it is in liquid phase. Actually, MS needs gas phase, and also it work under vacuum. And the operating temperature of LC is ambient, that is 25 to 50 degree, and that of MS is higher, around 300. And the flow output of the HPLC is in ml per minute range, but MS needs only microliter per minute. Also in our LC we use inorganic buffers, but MS requires volatile buffers. So there is a problem for coupling these two techniques. So actually we use interfacing. So the output of HPLC is solution, that is mixture of solvent and sample. And we need actually gas phase sample for MS. So you have to remove the solvent and also reduce the flare. Also then make the sample into gas phase. And this can be achieved by suitable interfacing. Then in modern HPLC, there is no separate interface. The ionization source itself acts as separation unit and ionization. There are many types of ionization techniques. So the ionization takes place in atmospheric condition, therefore is called APA. So the commonly used ionization techniques are electron spray ionization, atmospheric pressure chemical ionization, atmospheric pressure photoionization, and this MALDI, that is metric assisted laser desorption ionization. This is the schematic representation of electron spray ionization. So here the aim is the output of LC, that is solution. We have to remove the solvent and enrich the sample, and we have to ionize the sample molecules. That is the purpose of this ionization unit. So here the sample, that is HP's our LC output, is passed through a charged thing, and it is actually nebulized into the chamber. So this voltage impart charge to this sprayed mist, and in the chamber actually solvent evaporates, so charge on the droplets increases. So the going from ongoing, this charge getting increased, and finally due to mutual repulsion, this breaks into small ions and enters into the mass ionization unit. Okay, and second one is atmospheric pressure chemical ionization. So here now voltage is applied, instead a heater is used. So we can see the picture. So HPS or LC output nebulized into a heater, solvent evaporates, and here ionization is caused by a coronal discharge of chemical reagents. The chemical reagent is usually like volatile ammonia and methane molecules. So due to this, their transfer, that is collision between the our chemical agent and the sample molecule, charge is imparted to the our sample molecules, and finally they enters into the mass analyzation unit. Okay. Next is atmospheric pressure photoionization, simply called APPI. It is similar to our chemical ionization unit. The only difference is, instead of chemical reagent, we use UV radiation for ionization. So here solvent gets removed, and the unit imparts charge to our sample molecules, and it directs our sample charged sample molecule, that is ions, into the immersion unit. Okay. Then this slide shows the comparison of different ionization technique, ESI, APCI, and API. So this is the ionization process. Here in APCI, coronal discharge is used, and APPI, then UV radiation is used for causing ionization. And on comparing these three techniques, ESI has higher energy, as therefore singly and multiply charged ions are formed. In other two cases, only singly charged ions are formed. Then here, volatility is not a problem here, but the sample should be volatile. Then here, since heater is used, it should be thermally stable in last two cases. So now we are going to next part. So the LC column separate the mixture into components. Then our ionization unit remove the solvents and convert the sample into gas and ions, gaseous ions. And next is we have to sort the ions based on their mass charge ratio. So for that we need mass analyzers. Generally used mass analyzers are quadruple mass analyzer, time of flight mass analyzer, then ion trap ionizer, and the Fourier transform ion cyclone. cyclotron resonance. So this is the schematic representation of QMS. Here the ions are entered into a electric magnetic field created inside a actually quadruple rods, means 4 rods. Opposite rods are oppositely charged. Then here electromagnetic field is applied, and from the quadruple rods, ions emerge based on their charge mass ratio. Actually, this quadruple mass analyzer operates in 2 modes. One is scan mode, and second is selected ion monitoring mode. Scan mode simply scans, whereas SIM mode is for specific ions, that is ions having short range of mass charge ratio. So this scan mode can be used only for qualitative analysis, but SIM mode can be used for quantitative analysis also. And this technique is simplest and least expensive mass separation technique. Next is time of flight mass analyzer. Here the ions are subjected to electromagnetic field, and they move towards the detector based on their mass. Lighter particle move fastest and heavier slowest. So in this way, the ions are separated according to the charge mass ratio. Next is ion drop mass analyzer. So here circular electrodes, these 2 circular electrodes and end cap are used. So here ions are trapped inside, and they are ejected. In second field, they are ejected according to their charge mass ratio. Next is Fourier transform ion cyclotron mass analyzer. Here the ions are trapped and subjected to a centrifugal electric magnetic field, and they are radiated with RF frequency, and they produce current. A Fourier transform converts the current from produced from the ions into mass, then equivalent to mass charge ratio. And the advantage of this cyclotron technique is it can be used in MSN systems, that is multiple stage mass spectrometry, and it has wide mass range analysis, and it has excellent mass resolution, but the problem is it is most expensive mass analyzer. So these are the 3 units of LCMS, that is LC unit, then ionization unit, so separate interface is not needed, then mass analyzer. And this slide shows the some application of the LCMS. It is a very versatile technique. It can be used for pharmaceutical analysis, then biochemical analysis, and clinical analysis, environmental analysis, and forensic analysis. This is a spectrum shows the MS spectrum of trinitrotoluene. So we can identify the explosives and pharmaceutical by this LCMS application. Then second part, it is GCMS. This is the instrument. So here also GC is coupled with MS. It is also a hyphenated technique. So here we exploit the benefits of GC and MS. As said earlier, GC separate the mixture into constant components, and MS. So the components enter the MS at different time interval, and this MS identify the components by ionization and mass analyzation. So here sample molecule enters the MS through an inlet system. GC sample in the form of vapor. Then the problem is actually in GC, the sample is in the form of vapor in the atmospheric pressure. But MS needs low pressure sample. That is, it is actually work under vacuum. So here also interface is needed. Then ionization source is also needed. Then actually we need interfaces. So the purpose is to reduce the actually then the output of GC carries sample and the carrier gas. So here to remove the carrier gas and enrich the sample concentration. That is the purpose of the interface. So commonly used interfaces are capillary direct interfaces, jet separator, and Watson Beeman diffusion separator. This is the schematic representation of capillary direct interface. Actually here, the interface, here the capillary column is used in LC. So the flow rate will be small, and the amount of carrier gas will be, carrier gas also will be less. So here it is sprayed through from the capillary into a small low electric discharge. Actually, it is sprayed into liquid droplets. So here, actually solvent means our carrier gas escape, and the sample get ionized and enters into the inlet of the mass spectrometer. Second one is jet separator packed column. It consists of two glass tubes aligned with a small distance between them. The carrier gas coming from the GC column is pumped away by a separated vacuum system. Then actually the sample molecules are heavier, so they do not go away with our carrier gas, and they enter in the second capillary, and the evaporation of the removal of the carrier gas enrich the concentration of the sample. And this is the schematic representation of the GCMS jet separator. So from GC column, actually it contains carrier gas and the sample molecules. It is sprayed into through a nozzle to a vacuum atmosphere. So carrier gas escapes, whereas the sample molecules enters into the capillary to the MS ion source. Next is Watson Beeman interface. Actually, it is simply a porous tube, sintered glass tube. Carrier gas. Actually, in here the carrier gas is normally helium, along with the sample molecules enters into the tube. Actually, these carrier gas molecules filter out, and only our sample molecules exit from the system. Then, so now next part is the ionization technique. So here we have removed carrier gas and enrich the sample concentration, and now need ionization process. Commonly used ionization techniques are electron impact ionization and chemical ionization. So here in electron impact, ionization is carried by striking with electrons, whereas in chemical ionization, we actually discussed the chemical ionization technique. So here the ionization is caused by corona discharge of chemical species. The next part is mass analyzers. The commonly used mass analyzers in GCMS are magnetic sector ionizer, double focusing, then quadrupole, ion trap, ion cyclone resonance, time effort. Most of them are discussed earlier. The next slide is the application of the GSMS. So it can be used for the elucidation of structure of organic, inorganic, and organic molecules. Actually, it is fingerprinting. No need of no need to depend on RT, and it can be used for polymer characterization. So here pyrolysis takes place, so we can characterize the polymer, and also impurity profiling of pharmaceuticals. Then can be used for drug abuse, and we can check the presence of drugs in the metabolites in blood, urine, and saliva. It can be also used in forensic science, and the main use is environmental monitoring. That is tracking the presence of organic pollutants, and it can be used for checking the doping in athletics. So here end my presentation. Thanks.